हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। जय राधा मदन मोहन, राधा मदन मोहन राधे। जय गौ। Rashad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada, अनंत कोटि वैष्णविंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण। हे वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। So we're reading today from Canto 6, Chapter 9, entitled The Appearance of Demon Vritrasura, text 2 and 3. I'll just recite text number 2 first. सवे बर्हिषि देवेभ्यो भागं प्रत्यक्षमुच्चकै अददत् यस्य पितरो देवा सपर्शयं नृपः. Translation. O Maharaj Parikshit, the demigods were related to Vishwaru from his father's side, and therefore he visibly offered clarified butter in the fire while chanting mantras such as Indraya idam swaha. This is meant for King Indra. Idam agnaye. This is for the demigod of fire. He loudly chanted these mantras and offered each of the demigods his proper share. Text number 3. स एव हि ददो भागम् स एव हि ददो भागम्. जय श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन बिहारी श्री गौरंग महाप्रभु की जय. प्रोक्षम आसुरान आसुरान प्रति यजमानो अवहद भागम् मात्र स्नेहावशानुगः स एव हि ददो भागम् प्रोक्षम आसुरान प्रति यजमानो अवहद भागम् मात्र स्नेहावशानुगः स एव हि ददो भागम् परोक्षम् आसुरान् प्रति यजमानो अवहद भागम् मातार स्नेहावशानुगः. परोक्षम् आसुरान् प्रति मात्र स्नेहावशानुगः एव हि ददो भागम् परोक्षम् प्रति सैव हि यशो भागं परोक्षामसुरान् प्रति मानो वहद्भागं सैव हि ददो भागं परोक्षामसुरान् प्रति यजमानो वहद्भागं मात्र स्नेहावशानुगः सैव हि ददो भागं परोक्षामसुरान् प्रति यजमानो वहद्भागं मात्र स्नेहावशानुगः सैव हि ददो भागं परोक्षामसुरान् प्रति यजमानो वहद्भागं मात्र स्नेहावशानुगः. Word to word translation. Sah, he, Vishwarupa, eva, indeed, he, certainly, dado, offered, bhagam, share, paroksham, without the knowledge of the demigods. Asuran, the demons. Prati, on to, yajamanaha, performing sacrifice. Avahat, offered, bhagam, share, matra sneha, by affection for his mother. Vasha anugaha, being compelled. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Although offering clarified butter in the sacrificial fire in the name of demigods, without the knowledge of demigods, he also offered oblations to the demons because they were his relatives through his mother. Purport. Because of Vishwarup's affection for the families of both the demigods and the demons, he appeased the Supreme Lord on behalf of both dynasties. When he offered oblations in fire on behalf of the Asuras, he did so secretly without the knowledge of the demigods. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरे वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तविंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुन्नंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपः तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्. Hare Krishna. So we'd like to welcome all the devotees and guests for today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. So This is start of a new chapter from yesterday. So the chapter is entitled The Appearance of Demon Vritrasura. We'll read the translation again for text 2 and 3. Text 2 says, O Maharaj Parikshit, the demigods were related to Vishwarup from his father's side, and therefore he visibly offered clarified butter in the fire while chanting mantras such as Indraya Idam Swaha. This is meant for King Indra, and Idam Agnaye, this is for the demigod of fire. He loudly chanted these mantras and offered each of the demigods his proper share. And text number 3, although offering clarified butter in the sacrificial fire in the name of demigods, without knowledge of demigods, he also offered oblations to the demons because they were his relatives through his mother. So this particular section, if you see, started like few chapters ago, where Indra, due to a small neglect to his being worshipped, he is the king of heaven. So he's being worshipped in a grand manner. And being um, affected or enamored by that worship, he kind of neglects to receive his spiritual master, Brahaspati. And that takes a turn where the demons become more powerful and then they take up the kingdom. And in the process, um, he repents, he understands he has made a mistake. And then through the help of Vishwarup, only he gets the Narayan Kavacha and things like that. And then again, he gets the power. So in this chapter, we'll see again things take another turn. And as a chapter itself, the title says the appearance of demon Vritrasura. So Bhagavatam is well known as an Purana where the pastime of Vritrasura comes. So like yesterday, His Grace Nimaila Prabhu was mentioning very beautifully on the aspects of how the pastime of Vritrasura is mentioned differently in different Puranas and how to understand the mood. We have to accept the mood of scriptures. So in Bhagavatam, Vritrasur, even though in the body of a demon, what is his heart, what he carries, that can be seen. So in this particular verses, we see that this personality, Vishwarup, he has 3 heads. And through one of the heads, he's offering oblations for the favor of Devatas. So it's mentioned Indrayedam Swaha. So he's offering for the benefit of Indra, Idam Agnaye, for the benefit of the fire god. And then in the next verse, it's mentioned because he was related to the Devtas from the father's side, Twashta, and there is mother's side, Rochana. He is connected to the demons. So he is secretly offering oblations for the demons also. That's mentioned in the next verse. So I was thinking what to speak in this particular section. So let's start with in chapter 16 of Bhagavad Gita, we see Lord Krishna is talking about divine and demonic qualities. So here in these 2 verses, there are oblations offered for the Devtas and there are oblations offered for the demons. So what constitutes who is a Devata, Sura, and who is Asura, a demon? So Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, so the first 3 verses, Lord Krishna is telling what are the qualities of a Devata. Abhayam sattva samshuddhir jnana yoga vyavasthiti दानम दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्याय तपार्जवम् अहिंसा सत्यम अक्रोधस्त्याग शांतिरपेशुनम दया भूतेश लोप्यत्यम माध्वम भीर अचापलम तेजशमादृति शौचम अद्रोहनातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पद्देवीं अभिजातस्य भारत. So in these three verses, the first three verses of 16th chapter, Lord Krishna is telling 26 qualities of one who can be classified as a Devata. So what one very prominent aspect is Devata, Krishna is not saying he's born in a certain family. It's not just based on some familial ties. It's based on what qualities one have. So there are certain qualities which constitute one as Devata. So like first quality which Krishna, it's not, Prabhupada in the purport also mentions, this is not an exhaustive list. It's an indicative list. There are many more qualities which the Devatas exhibit. So the first quality which is mentioned is Abhyam. There are many qualities mentioned. We may discuss few. So Abhyam refers to fearlessness, one who is fearless. So we see this is the quality of one who is a Devata, Sura. So, or divine in nature, divine qualities. So they are divine qualities. So I was just hearing one pastime. So like Srila Prabhupada, he is mentioned as his name itself is Abhay Charan. So Srila Prabhupada shares, once Srila Prabhupada was sitting with his um, devotees, disciples, and he was sharing like when he was young, Prabhupada was young as a child, boy. So then that time he was saying that Victoria Memorial in Calcutta, so that was being constructed. So Prabhupada said, when the building was being constructed, I will climb the building. So there is scaffolding. You see this scaffolding? So there was scaffolding to build that whole memorial. So Prabhupada said, when it was under construction as a child, I would climb that. So then disciples said, Prabhupada, you were very brave. Then Prabhupada said, I am brave now also. I came all the way to your country and I am preaching Krishna consciousness. So I am brave and I am fearless. Therefore, I have come to your country and I am fearlessly preaching Krishna consciousness. So that is the mood of being fearless. So Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas write, all these 26 qualities actually they are divided for sannyasis, vanaprastha, brahmachari, etc. So they divide how some qualities are specifically mentioned for certain varnas, some qualities are specifically mentioned for certain ashramas. So this quality of fearlessness is specially mentioned for sannyasis. Acharya's Vishwanath Thakur is mentioning. Srila Prabhupada also purport mentions there. So there, fearlessness, why? Because for a devotee, one in divine nature, he does not put faith on his capabilities. He puts his faith on depending on Krishna. So, especially for sannyasi, he may be giving up all his social obligations, family ties, but still he is fearless. Why? Because he understands Lord as Paramatma is constantly with me. I am never alone. I am constantly being channelized, constantly being, I am having the Sangha of Lord, the direction of Lord. So he's never fearful. And we see from the life of Srila Prabhupada that how he was so fearless in preaching the message of Krishna consciousness, despite so many odds, so many difficulties. Like one of the, I think, God brothers of Srila Prabhupada was saying to the disciples of Prabhupada that you will not understand what Swamiji has done until you come to the age of 70. Because we may have some appreciation for what Prabhupada has done. But when one turns old at the age of 70, when things become very difficult, then one will realize what is the endeavor, what is the greatness, and having so many difficulties, heart attacks, and so many problems, but still continuing and sharing and preaching Krishna consciousness in a foreign country, in a foreign language, etc. So that's The first quality, which is divine, is Abhyam. Then it's mentioned Sattva Samshuddhir, purification of one's existence. So, one in divine nature, he is Sattva Samshuddhir. He is always endeavoring for purification. So, in this world, generally, we don't like purification because purification requires a lot of struggle, hard work, pain. There's pain involved in purification. We can see in this world also, na? To keep things pure, to keep things, there's a lot of struggle. So, therefore, in today's times, people generally, there is so much of what you call adulteration, there's so much of mixing, there's no purity because it's easy. But to maintain purity, it requires a lot of hard work, it requires a lot of effort, pain. So, one who is in divine nature, he is willing to endure pain for the sake of purification. Purification will not happen unless there is some pain involved. So, purification we can see in the life of acharyas, like his, if we see Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he, you know where he will chant his rounds? In the toilet. Because he said, that's the place where people will not come and disturb me. In a pub, not in home toilet, in public toilet. Public toilet is we will try to run away from that place. We'll feel that, as soon as work is done, run away from that place. But he will chant his rounds there. Or His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj. So His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj, when he was traveling in Soviet Union that time, so he was black-bodied. So he was easily, one could make out like he's somebody from a foreign country. But he would be fearlessly preaching, and then he will not stay in one city for one day. So every day he will change a city, because so that he doesn't get recognized that he is preaching spiritual or some subjects. So where he'll be chanting his rounds, he'll chant 42 rounds every day. And where he'll be chanting 42 rounds? In the toilet of the train. So he will, every day he will change city. And when he will be going from one city to another, he will lock himself in the toilet for whatever number of hours, 2-3 hours. And he'll be chanting in the toilet. Because even if he chants in the train, and because it was mentioned that in Soviet, father will be KGB agent, the son will be KGB agent, and the mother will be KGB agent. The father will not know the mother is a KGB agent. The mother will not know the son is KGB agent. So they were so, in their networking, so then it was very difficult. Anybody can be a KGB agent, they will not know. So, but Maharaj would be preaching vigorously. So then how he will make sure that he doesn't get, detected and things like that. So he will be changing city every day, and he'll be chanting his rounds in the toilet. And somebody asked him, why are you chanting 42 rounds? So then he told that actually you are born in India, so you have good pious karma. I am born in a low family, so I need to work harder to purify myself. I don't think he needed to work harder, but he's just showing by example that purification, as it's mentioned, one who is of divine nature, he is willing to endure pain for purification. Sattva Samshuddhir. Then it's mentioned Jnana Yoga Vyavastitaha, Danam Damascha Yagyascha. So in this world, other aspects which are mentioned is Jnana Yoga. He is situated in spiritual knowledge. Jnana Yoga. Vyavastita. Danam. He gives charity. Damas. He is able to control his senses. And Yagyascha. he performs sacrifice. So like we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prithu Maharaj, he is about to perform the 100th Ashwamedh sacrifice. And then Indra is again perturbed. Here we see Indra, similar episode. And he tries to stop by various means. And later, because of following the instructions of higher authorities, Prithu Maharaj stops his 100 sacrifice. So he does the yajna of pleasing his superior. So yajna is sacrificing your own plans for the sake of, or for the uh, from the higher authority side. So sometimes we think yajna means to offer oblations, sacrifice, but real sacrifice is sacrificing our own ideas, plans, when it is, uh, ordained by higher authorities or by the order of Lord Krishna. So that is the nature. Swadhyaya, tapa, arjavam, ahimsa is non-violent, satyam, truthful, akrodaha, he doesn't become angry, shantir, peaceful, daya, he's always showing mercy on others. So like that. So these are the qualities which are mentioned about. So there are many. So we just discussed few. And then in the next verse, what are the demoniac qualities? On the contrary, they are mentioned. Dambo darpo bhimanascha krodha parshuyameva cha ajnanam cha abhijatasya partha sampadamasurim. So Dambo, one who is Asuri Bhava, what is his nature? He's full of Damba. Damba means pride. Darpo, full of arrogance. Abhimana, he has conceit. Krodha, he's full of anger. Parsuyam, he is harsh. And Agyana, ignorance. So, Partha Sampadam Asuram. Hey Parth, these are the Sampada, these are the wealth of Asuri Bhava, those who are demonic in nature. So we can see in this world that generally in today's times, we are taught that one should be very proud, one should be willing um, to increase one's position, one should be willing to, like Srila Prabhupada, when he went to, I think, when he went to Tokyo in Japan, and he was meeting the publishers of his Bhagavad Gita that time. So then he had a meeting with all the CEO and everything, and they were trying to fix the price of how much it will cost to publish. So then in the end of the meeting, there was one person, he was like, who remained. So then they asked him, what is the goal of your life? So there were many visiting cards on the table. So he took out his visiting card and put on top of all others, saying that the goal of my life is to actually become, step over everyone and come to the top of that, position in the company and things like that. So everyone is trying to outdo each other. So that's the nature of Asuri Bhava. Disregarding what others may have to go through, but my position should always be higher, greater. So that is the nature of, like we see, Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, etc. So even though they know scriptures very well, we will read in 7th canto that Hiranyakashipu also knew scriptures very well. He also speaks Gita philosophy to his, you are not the body, you are the soul, etc. But what they use the philosophy for? To make their own ends meet. Srila Prabhupada in the purport write, these qualities are royal road to hell. The demoniac want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science. Although they do not follow the principles, they are always arrogant or proud in possessing some type of education or so much wealth. They desire to be worshipped by others and demand respectability, although they do not command respect. Over trifles, they become very angry and speak harsh, not gently. They do not know what should be done and what should not be done. They do everything whimsically according to their own desire and do not recognize any authority. These demonic qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the wombs of their mother. And as they grow, they manifest all the inauspicious qualities. So we can see there's a total contrast to the divine and demoniac nature. Divine, they are more striving for purification, but those who are demoniac, they are striving for respectability, arrogance, pride, etc., which are two contradictory in nature. From devotional perspective, we see the acharyas mentioned that one who is devotee, he is actually a devata. So one who is striving to become a devotee of the Lord, he actually becomes a sura, devata. What's that verse? For yeah, Vishnu Bhakti, Vishnu Bhakta is actually sura. He's like devotee, devata. So that is mentioned. So first aspect was about, because in these two verses, devatas, oblations for devatas and demons is mentioned. So another aspect is, if we see the third verse, it's mentioned that we'll see in the next verses. In the next verse, Indra gets to know that there is Vishwarup is secretly offering oblations for his enemies. So in our life also, as if we get to know that somebody is my doing for my well-being things, then he is my friend, he is my well-wisher. But as soon as we get to know that that person is doing something against me, which will harm me, so he becomes my enemy. So if somebody acts not as per my paradigm, then I reject him. I plan to cause harm to him. This is natural tendency. So in this world, generally, so Indra, up till now, he was treating Vishwarup as guru. He helped him come out of his situation where he had lost his kingdom. But suddenly, as soon as, in a moment, as soon as he realizes that Vishwarup is also offering oblations for his enemy, he forgets everything, whatever good is done, and immediately kills, beheads Vishwarup. So that is, even though Indra, he is a devotee of the Lord, he is also a devata, he is the king of devatas, but still he succumbs to his lower nature or anger. So we may be also practicing devotional life, but because of our anarthas, we also succumb to these kind of lower natures. And as soon as we realize this person is not doing as per my expectation to help me, then I cause harm to that person. But this is harmful as it creates papa vritti. So what is important is, in life, when situations are taking place and we feel that somebody is acting not as per my plan, as per my desire, so rather than reacting instantly, what Indra did, he reacted instantly and he repents. So rather than going into that cycle of acting instantly, better take a pause. Even if you think something is not being done right, don't take an instant judgment on it. Take a pause and see what is the good and positive side here. So, like yesterday, we were discussing, generally, if somebody is speaking to us or we are in interaction with somebody and we have made some image of that person, oh, he is like such and such person. So as soon as that person is coming or he starts speaking, we shut our heart. We start, rather than hearing what that person is speaking, we start hearing what our heart is speaking, mind is speaking. So our mind will say, oh, he is like this, he never follows what he speaks, he is not practicing spirituality, Now he's telling me to do like this, do like that. So then, rather than hearing what he's trying to speak, we start hearing what our mind is trying to speak. So rather than doing that, if we can hear with an open heart. So in fourth canto, we see that when Dhruva Maharaj, he goes to mother, like he wants to sit on the lap of his father, Uttanapad. So his stepmother, Suruchi, starts cursing him, blaming him, you have not taken birth from my womb, etc., etc. And then he comes and runs to his mother, Suniti. So Mother Suniti acknowledges that I am not the favorable queen, but then she even takes out some messages which were conducive from the talk of Suruchi. So that shows she heard the messages. So, like we were discussing yesterday, also, we may not, we can see from the life of acharyas, great personalities, they actually hear attentively before they make a judgment or speak some things. Even if we don't want to follow what the other person is saying, if we hear attentively, there may be even one point or 2 point which we can adapt or which we can accept in our life. So here, Mother Suniti is giving advice to Dhruva that actually your stepmother said the right thing. You better approach the Supreme Lord to fulfill your desire. She told that even if you want to sit on your father's lap, you need to take birth from my womb, and for that you need to worship the Supreme Lord. So Suniti, mother, she took that positive side, that yeah, what she is saying the right thing. You better approach the Supreme Lord. So even when somebody who is not, if I feel he is not my well wisher, still from his talk we can take something positive out if we hear with an open heart. So that's very important. Rather than making an decision that, oh, instinctive decision, we should take here and make a very informative decision rather than repenting later. Oh, why I acted like this? I should not have acted like this. So Indra also in this case, understanding that oblations were being made for his army, for his enemy's side also. So he becomes angry and beheads his guru, and then he repents later. So that's an important principle here. And this is very critical also in our spiritual life, because if you want to grow in spiritual life, then we need to learn to like one thing which I have seen or appreciated from the life of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, how he acts in ways to attract the blessings of others rather than attract the curses of others. So how he deals with people, how he interacts with people, whether they be devotees, whether they be his god brothers, whether they be his disciples, whether they be people from other sampradayas, whether they may be common people, etc., etc. So his demeanor is always to attract the blessings of others. In this world, you may not be able to please everyone all the time, but we can make an endeavor by our words, our actions, by our body language to attract the blessings of others and not attract the curses of others. Because more we attract curses of others, more difficult our path of spiritual life will be. It's already full of our own past karma and different aspects, which, anyways, we have to face impressions, our previous hankerings, etc. To make life easier, better to act in such a way that we don't attract curses of others, because it will become even more difficult. It will become even steeper a climb. So better to act in ways we can attract the blessings of others. And that will be possible if we have this kind of attitude of seeing positive in all situations and be attentive to what is Krishna trying to teach me in this particular situation. Because generally, we try to think that how can I execute my plan? But in spiritual life, if we can see, oh, what is Krishna trying to teach me in this situation? So, in that way, we can actually have a proper demeanor, proper, um, you know, dealings to attract more blessings than curses. So, that will help us in our devotional life. So, that is one aspect. And to come, so one may ask, so how will I develop this kind of proper mood, proper nature to hear attentively, to have right demeanor, attitude? So for that, our acharyas are mentioning we should have proper sadhana, we should have proper prayerful mood while performing our sadhana. So, and as part of our sadhana, as Srila Rup Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he tells various aspects which are critical for a Vaishnav, and one of them is following Ekadashi. So today is Ekadashi. So if we can actually take advantage, Madhava Titi Bhakati Janani Jatana Palana Kori. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his bhajan is mentioning Madhava Tithi. So this Ekadashi is mentioned as Madhav Tithi. So of all the Tithis, Ekadashi is mentioned as Madhav Tithi, Tithi of Lord Madhav. Bhakati Janani. It can induce bhakati in the heart of people. Jatana Palan Koli. With great eagerness, endeavor, determination, one should try to follow this Tithi. So wherever we may stand, we can use Madhav Tithi, Ekadashi Tithi to increase our remembrance of Lord, our uh, desire to become more and more surrendered to the Lord through the process of hearing and chanting. So today is also Shayana Ekadashi, or what is it called? Ashadi Ekadashi. So in Maharashtra, the Varkari Sampradaya, so they highly recognize the two Ekadashis, which is the Ashadi and the Kartik, the Ekadashi which ends the Chaturmasya or the Kartik month. So every dham, so I was just discussing, so every dham has a particular special aspect. So for Pandharpur Dham, Lord Vitthal, so it's mentioned that these two Ekadashis are very special, especially the Ashadi. So where devotees, they go and take darshan of Lord Vitthal Dev in Pandharpur Dham. So today you will see many devotees of Lord Vitthal going, taking darshan, chanting the holy names, and coming together to glorify Lord Hari. So we should also use these opportunities to take shelter of Krishna more earnestly and pray to the Lord that, Lord, please give me the right intelligence to actually serve you, and please your representatives. So, in that way, we can make progress in spiritual life. Otherwise, as we see, why these examples of various episodes are given, especially we see Indra again and again getting caught up in different episodes, even though he's a great personality, a great devotee, and also a Devata. But if we don't strive for the ultimate purification or pure devotional service, then there's every chance that we'll get again and again caught up because of our anarthas. So we have to strive earnestly, pray earnestly, and then this is possible. And therefore, these divine qualities are important, but they have to be always um, accompanied by the desire for pure devotional service, the endeavor for pure devotional service. Because in themselves, these qualities may not take us back to Godhead, they will help us to take shelter of Krishna. And so that should be the mood in which we should imbibe these qualities, to take shelter of Krishna. And then the divine nature in is its uh, in its supreme success is achieved by taking becoming a devotee of the Lord. So in that way, um, I'd like to end today's discussion. So today we saw the two verses are talking about how Vishwarup is offering oblations for the Devtas and secretly for uh, the demons also. And what are the divine qualities, what are the demonic qualities, and how Indra gets swayed away seeing that, oh, he's offering oblations for my enemy, and he instantly acts and kills Vishwarup, his guru, and repents later. So we saw how it is important to give a pause here first, see the situation, see the positive side, and then make a proper decision and try to attract blessings rather than curses. And how we can achieve that? By having strong sadhana and sangha. And these tithis which we are observing today are going to help us come to that stage. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णविंद की जय. So many hands raised. I thought time is up.
Prabhuji, you mentioned about His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj demeanor of taking, attracting blessings. Can you show, tell us one pastime?
Prabhuji will tell. Adi Keshav bro. There are many episodes. There are many episodes. Like very famous, that person, that Joe Walsh had come. If you remember that famous singer. And when he came, his band's name is Eagles Band. So when he came, long time back, I think, when he came, some long time back, 7-8 years back, I think. So then when he came with his girlfriend or something like that. And that was also his like something. So just seeing him, somebody would think, Arey, he's like a sensualist or, engaged in. But Maharaj gave him such time. And then there's that whole episode that when he was going in that buggy and who was driving was Garud Prabhu. So then Maharaj told, what is his name? So he said that his name is Garud. So he said, who is Garud? Garud is eagles. It's one of the greatest eagles. So then Maharaj was saying, there is a connect. Your band is eagles and Krishna's or Lord Vishnu's Vahan is an eagle. So there is a connection. So then how to see positive? Not in this world, anyways, people have so many shortcomings, discrepancies. But how Maharaj is able to see even positive in or connect to devotional service, something which is not there also, something like that. And we can see how Maharaj deals with all kinds of, if you go to Vrindavan, like every time I go to Vrindavan, I get amazed, we go to some temple somewhere and they'll just ask, so you are from ISKCON, okay, which temple? So if I just tell them Radha Gopinath temple or many don't know Govardhan Eco Village, but Radha Gopinath Temple. So they will start speaking about Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So I'll be amazed at how they know about Maharaj. So so many places I have seen. So then, and that shows that he has touched the hearts of people by his demeanor and yeah, like that.
Prabhu, yeah, in the class you're mentioning that the pain what we go through the devotional service, it is for your purification. But you see that most of the time when we go through the pain, we don't, it doesn't, your intelligence doesn't click. Your tendency is that you become very defensive, and during the pain, you try blaming others for what you're going through. My question is that how do I uplift my consciousness to understand that pain, what I'm going through, is for my purification, not because of or they did some mistake or other party did it.
It's very difficult. Actually, it's very difficult for a conditioned soul. It's very difficult to accept that pain is for my purification. That's the first thing we need to accept. Because if we could accept that, then we are already on higher ladder of pure devotional service. So if we are not able to accept, that shows that we are like all of like we are on sadhaka level. For a sadhaka, very difficult to accept it. Now, how to go to that is by regularly studying the episodes in Shrimad Bhagavatam, learning from them. We see, because a personality like Indra is also kind of making those mistakes and then repenting rather than accepting, oh, it's for my purification. So then one has to go through that. The more we don't accept, more we'll have to go through those challenges and more pain to understand pain is for my purification. So Indra also in this episode, he's going through various, in same episode only, at various stages, he's going through more and more pain. And the pain is increasing until one realizes the pain is for my purification. So that is a hard way. But the solace we can have is, therefore, we need a community of devotees. So, on an individual level, very difficult to accept pain and think it's for my purification. But when we have support of a community of devotees, so when we are going through that pain and we get, support while that enduring that pain, then it becomes easier to understand and accept it's for my purification. Otherwise, on an individual level, very difficult. For there may be only very few who may be who are exceptionally already on high standard of devotional practice. But for common sadhakas, therefore we need community support. So when we are going through that pain, we need help of other devotees to encourage us to continue with that struggle. Otherwise, it's very, very challenging and very, very difficult. And it may come to a stage where people may leave devotional service also. So, therefore, we need a good support system, community to help us endure that pain.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
So, mentioned about, of course, Maharaj's example of when he talks to others, he's always seeking blessings. Now, when we talk to our superiors, it is natural. When you talk, you're seeking blessings. You're very humble. But when you are in a position to get the work done and you have to talk, so that time, how are you seeking blessings when you're trying to tell whom you are dependent on to get these things done, and the person is not so sincere? How do you act that you're still seeking blessings?
you can see example or from His Holiness Radhan Swami Maharaj only. So he also gets more lot of things done in GV. But how he gets, I'm just saying that sometimes we have to be stern or we have to be, but still, generally the problem is our heart is not clean. We still have some ulterior motive or something which which is communicated to the other person subtly or in some ways, and that creates that friction or tension. So, but we can always try to the best of our ability to act in, so basically the intention or mood is to act in certain all in ways in which we can attract blessings. There will be instances where despite all you know endeavors, people may not appreciate you or there may be some challenges, but at least we can endeavor in that direction to have more on this side than on the negative cursing side. It's a challenge. If there's no challenge, then there is no so challenge is there, but if we constantly strive for it, striving for it means we'll be always open to improve ourselves. So then it is possible like that. You can add, Pooja, I don't know.
Thank you very much, Gaurang Bihari Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण। तरुणताई प्रभु आप कुछ बोल रहे हो? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
When Gaurang Bihari Prabhu says anything, no one gets hurt.